Wonderful. Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Let's see as folks start to come into our virtual room here. Hello. Please tell us where you're located, where you're watching us from today in the chat here. Awesome. Oh, wow. We have Germany, Brazil, Virginia in the States, Mexico, Ireland. Oh, wow.
I see someone from Minneapolis. That's my my home state of Minnesota.
Cool. Keep them coming, folks.
Oh, we got someone from our state of Florida, Stacey.
Cool. Awesome. While everyone's coming in slowly, we can start off with giving our introductions. My name is Stacey. I'm a customer success specialist here at Pipedrive on the growth team. And I have the special opportunity to usually meet with active users, curious about different features, as well as I've been at Pipedrive here 4 years now. So I'll hand it off over to my comrade here, Janelle.
Thanks, Stacey. Hi, everyone. My name's Janelle Larson, and I am a customer success manager at Pipedrive. I have been with Pipedrive just over 18 months, and in my previous life, I ran a small portable storage company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I sat in the shoes that you guys are in. I've managed a sales team. I've been a salesperson. I've done the marketing, the business operations, and the customer support. I also worked on a customized CRM for our franchise group. So that's how I sort of ended up at Pipedrive, and I really look forward to the rest of the webinars and the questions you're going to give us later.
Awesome. Now let's just take the opportunity to introduce this tool that we're going to be using to all communicate with each other. As you can see, there's a lovely chat where everyone's been dropping their locations. Lower in the lower right corner, there's also a tab button for questions. So if you have any questions about what we're talking about, any features we're referring to, go ahead and add your questions there a little bit in the next second. Yes, you will be receiving a recording of this later. You can expect to receive an email after this is wrapped up. In addition to that, you will see a poll pop up here that we want to get your opinion and observation and everything else, as well as we want your feedback after this is wrapped up. Awesome. So I think this is a good time for a poll, Janelle, right?
I think for the first one, yes.
Awesome. So we should have a poll popping up here. Let us know which Pipedrive plan that you're currently on. Go ahead and submit your vote. Got some results coming in. Okay. Professionals coming in at the top. We have some folks on our first tier plan, essential, advanced switch to the second. Okay, great. All right, while folks are still voting, I think we could probably go into our agenda here. And I'll go ahead and share my screen. One second here, folks. So the first items we're going to discuss is our automations feature, as well as next we're going to discuss the visibility groups, pipeline specific custom fields, pipeline visibility. Next, after that, automatic assignment, and then crowd favorite, questions and answers. So
I saw in one of the questions, somebody asked how long the webinar is going to be. We're going to round it at an hour.
Yes. So we have about 55 minutes to provide you with some information and also answer your questions that you might have for us. Wonderful. So we're going to get started and head into our first topic on the agenda, which is our lovely automations. So I will go ahead and share my screen so you could see. Awesome. So with our advanced plans and higher, you can start to utilize our wonderful feature, the workflow automations feature. And once again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and send them over to the questions tab. So the automations feature is a wonderful feature that you can utilize to replace or replicate anything that you're doing in your existing workflow. With the automation feature, especially if you have different teams that you're going to be handing over deals or transactions to, you can utilize this feature to automate some of those actions. One example of this would be to use the automation to change a deal over to another Pipedrive user once it has maybe completed a certain status change. With this, the automation, you would just need one identifying trigger that would set everything into play. For this example, we're going to utilize the deal updated trigger point. Now, after applying the trigger, you're able to apply different conditions with understanding that within Pipedrive, you are able to create more than one pipeline, and also you might have more than one user. With the conditions, you can apply the different fields or parameters. In this example, we can use the status change of a deal changing into the one position. And from here, maybe I want to change ownership of that deal over to another Pipedrive user. I can go in and maybe add a delay for a certain scenario, but I want to add in an immediate action of changing ownership. So you can see here from my action list, I have more detailed options here. What I'm going to do is select the option to update deal fields. The field in particular that I want to change is the owner. So for this example, maybe I'm changing ownership from the sales team over to the operations team. So I would maybe list my particular operations manager that will be taking ownership of this deal. And of course, turning it on to activate it. And then just to show you as an example of this work automation, we can go to a deal. And you could see here in the example, after the animation disappears, that the ownership has changed to a new Pipedrive user. So this can be applied and helpful in a number of different ways. Also, maybe even moving that deal over to another pipeline if that might be helpful. Awesome. Handing it back over to you, Janelle.
Thanks, Stacey. Just a reminder here, please put your questions in the question panel, and we'll get to that after we finish up with our next two topics. I know many of you on this webinar today manage a team. And there's occasions when you want only certain users to see certain data within their Pipedrive account. This helps that user cut down on all the extra stuff they don't need to see so they can focus on the work that they need to do that day. Let's take some real life use cases or examples here. And I see this with my customers. They maybe have a sales team that works in Pipedrive, but they don't want the sales team members to see each other's deals. They want to keep that separate. Or maybe in your Pipedrive account, you have two teams that are using it. Say you have a sales team and you have an HR team. You only want the HR team to see the stuff applicable to them, and you only want the sales team to see pipelines and data that's applicable to their work. We want to cut down on that visual clutter so each Pipedrive user is focusing on the work they need to do to close deals, to get things taken care of. So one of the ways we tackle this in Pipedrive is by using visibility groups. Visibility groups, they allow you to group users together, and then you can dictate what items they're allowed to see in Pipedrive. So when I'm talking about items in Pipedrive, it's deals, leads, people, organizations, and products. Those are the 5 items we're talking about in general. Now, I find with visibility groups, the very best and maybe the only way to understand them is to look at them in an account. So I'm going to go ahead here and share my screen. Just let me get my computer organized here a bit. And right now, everyone should give me a thumbs up if you're seeing my demo account. I'm on the catering sales pipeline. Okay, awesome. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm going to go in and show you some of the visibility groups within Pipedrive here. Now, when I do this, I'm going to go up to my picture in the upper right-hand corner and click on it. If you haven't uploaded your picture yet, think about doing that. And I'm going to go to Manage Users. Now, under Manage Users, I'm going to go over to Visibility Groups right here. Now, if you guys are playing along in your office or in your home office, if you don't see visibility groups, it's because you need account setting rights, okay? One thing I'll throw in here is I did see a quick question in the chat. You were asking what level of plan we're demoing on. I am demoing on the professional plan today, but I will also refer to other plans as we're going through because visibility groups is included in all of your Pipedrive plans. So let's think of a visibility group once a way as a way to assign users to a group, and then you can dictate what they're allowed to see. That's the visibility part. In Pipedrive, our visibility groups have 2 main features. One is a pipeline visibility. Okay, that's what I'm circling here. And the other one is item visibility. And remember, items are leads, deals, people, organizations, and products. All plans have the default group. So let's dive down a little bit deeper into some of the custom visibility groups I've set up. Now, if you're on the professional, power, or enterprise group, you're going to have extra visibility groups that are allowed for you. I set this up in a way that I see in many of my customers' account. I have set up a sales manager visibility group where I have 2 sales managers. Then I have set up the sales team visibility group where I have 2 team members. The sales manager visibility group is what I call the parent group, and it can see all the items in the child group, the sales team visibility group. Best practice here when you set up visibility groups is make the parent visibility group have the highest visibility, meaning they get to see the most. And generally, you then take the sales team visibility group or the child visibility group, and they get to see a more restricted view of the Pipedrive account. And remember, we're doing this to help focus the user in on only seeing what's applicable so they can focus in on their work. So let's dive just a bit deeper into the sales team visibility group. I just brought it up. And as I said before, here's the parent group. So remember, everything that's in the child group, the parent group is going to be able to see. That's why we set up that relationship in the beginning. Now, in my demo account here, I have 2 salespeople. I have Molly and I have Nell. As I had mentioned, there's 2 ways to control visibility through groups. And the first one is visibility of pipelines. So for my sales team visibility group, I only want them to see my sales pipelines. So I've given them access to 4 of our 7 pipelines. So before we get much further, let's go ahead and look at another user, okay? I'm going to bring up Nell. If you remember, Nell right here is a sales team member. Now, give me a thumbs up if you can see Nell's account with the initials NC in the upper right-hand corner. Excellent. Thank you. So if I go into Nell's account, Nell can only see the 4 pipelines that her visibility group was given. Now, if you notice, this is going to be able to clean up all of what Nell is able to see. Now, Nell may not have a lot of deals in some of these other pipelines. As you can see, she mostly works in the catering pipeline. Not to make you guys dizzy, I'm going to go back to Janelle's account, which I'm speaking of myself in third person here today, because Janelle is the full admin, and that's why, with account setting, why she can set these up. So we've already restricted our sales team visibility group to those 4 pipelines, but I really want to clear their view up so they can focus on their deals and what needs to get done today. To do that, I can further go down and define item visibility. Items being leads, deals, people, organizations, and products. For today's conversation, I'm only going to focus on deals. But remember, what I'm saying applies to all of the other items. So the item options you have here, you can, if you're on the power plan and up, you're going to have 4 options. And that's where I'm going to start. If you are on the essential or advanced plan, you're only going to have item owner and all users. But let's just go over, what do these options mean? Okay. One thing to state, that no matter which option, visibility option you choose for deals for this group, the deal owner always can see their own deals. The deal administrator can see deals. Anybody who follows the deal can still see the deal, and the parent visibility group. So what that means is my most restrictive visibility here, the deals, and I'm going to concentrate on Nell. Nell owns deals. In the most restricted visibility group, Nell's deals are going to be able to be seen by all the deal admins, Nell, because she's the deal owner, the people in the parent group, and the parent group here is the sales manager visibility group, and then followers. So this is your most restrictive selection. And this is the one I've put in my demo account for today. What this means is Nell can see her deals, but Molly cannot. Molly can see her deals, but Nell cannot see Molly's deals. If I wanted to open up the visibility a little bit more, say this team's more collaborative and Molly and Nell work together, then I would want to give the deal visibility to include the visibility group so Nell and Molly could see each other's leads. Well, deals, I'm on deals. There's another option here, which you can add visibility then into the subgroups. And then finally, you can have visibility where everyone can see everybody else's deals. For this group, because I really want to keep it the minimum amount of clutter for my salespeople, I'm just going to have Nell be able to see her own deals and no one else's. So let's go back to Nell and take a look at her account. Now remember, Nell is already restricted to just seeing her 4 pipelines, but I've also restricted Nell to just see her own deals. These are her 7 deals in this pipeline. Through that restricted visibility group, Nell cannot see Molly's deals, even though they're in the same visibility group, and Nell cannot see Marty's deals or Janelle's deals. So what I like about this is Nell has a really focused view on what she needs to work on when she comes in to her account in the morning. I'm going to exit out of this sales visibility group, and let's just go up and talk a little bit more about the group above it, the sales manager visibility group. Now, best practice is to give them a little more visibility. So this group gets to see 6 out of the 7 pipelines. And for the items for this group, let me make my screen a bit bigger there. I have given the visibility that they're able to see the deals in each other's accounts. So they can work collaboratively together. So let's just take a quick look on what this looks like in Janelle's account. So Janelle is an admin, so she's going to be able to see everyone's deals. She's also going to be able to see Molly's deals, and she's also going to be able to see Marty's deals. Even if Janelle was not an admin, she could see Marty's deals because they're in the same visibility group. Visibility groups, as much as visibility groups are about catering or categorizing users, there's also other occasions where you want certain data fields to be seen and updated, but only in certain pipelines. For example, let's say you have a marketing source where your first marketing source is where you capture where did you get that lead from. That would be an example where you maybe only want to put it in your sales pipelines, or maybe in your account, you have a PO number, a purchase order number, and you only want that in certain sales pipelines. But on top of that, you only want certain people to be able to access it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and take us into some customized fields. So how Pipedrive tackles this issue is by showing custom fields only in specific pipelines, and then you can hide custom fields from other pipelines. This is going to help unclutter your deal view. And let's take a deeper look. Now, everyone based on your account settings may not be able to get into your custom fields, but if you can, go into company settings, and we're going to draw down here to data fields. And let's just jump into this first field, this first custom field that I have here, which is first marketing source. As a side note, when I work with my customers, I recommend this as a field in almost everyone's account because you sort of want to know where your deals and leads come from. So the first thing I can do here is restrict where we see this custom field. Like I said before, I only want to put this custom field into my sales pipelines, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like when I'm in a deal. I'm going to bring my my deals back up here. And let's say I go into this Miller Plumbing deal. I'm going to draw down and I'm going to say, what was the first marketing source? This one already had LinkedIn. And so let's just say I was wrong on that. And it really was a referral. And I'm going to save it. If you notice now, I am in the catering pipeline and I get to see the first marketing source. However, if I go to a different pipeline, I'm going to say when I look down, I don't see first marketing source because it is a field that's not accessible from that pipeline. Going back into my custom fields here, I'm going to bring you down to this PO number field. This purchase order field. This is a field I want to be able for everyone to see in the pipelines it's applicable. I'm just putting it in 2 pipelines, but I only want the admin to be able to assign the PO number. I don't want the salespeople that are, or the other members of this account being able to accidentally update that number. So I want to keep it as they can view it, but not edit it. So let's go back to Nell and see how she's doing in her account. So if I go into the deal, we're going to go into Miller again because that was actually one of Nell's deals. And if you remember, that first marketing source had already been input. And of course, Nell can change it if she needs to and save it. But if we look at this PO number, Nell is not able to click in here and make any changes. If you notice it, it's a read-only field because only the admin can go ahead and manage that field. If you're looking for the features that I've just demonstrated, the custom fields by pipeline and by user, you're going to find that in the Professional, Power, or Enterprise plan. Stacey, before I go any further, is there anything else in visibility groups I missed? Because it is a monstrous subject.
Yes, I don't believe there's anything you missed. There's so much more we could talk about that, but since we only have so much time, I think that's it for now.
Okay. Remember, guys, if you have questions, put it in that question panel and we'll get to it after our last subject here. So our last subject really is going to go into automatic assignments. Part of managing a team for you guys may be distributing leads or deals among your team members, okay? Sometimes leads come in overnight, like through a web contact form, and they need to be assigned. Or maybe you need to distribute your leads or deals evenly among team members. In the past, this has had to be done manually by someone on your team, which means every morning they're going to go into their leads inbox, which I'm going to pop into mine. And speaking of leads inbox, how many of you guys use the leads inbox in your account? Check that poll tab, and we should have a poll coming up on that in just a second here.
Yes, we want to get your feedback. We know this is often a forgotten area of Pipedrive, so let us know if you're utilizing it. If not, definitely check out this portion so you can utilize it more.
Yep, and the leads inbox is included in all plans. I think of the leads inbox as a great place to keep non-qualified leads. So I'm going to talk in my example here when we dive a little bit deeper into automatic assignment. I'm going to be bringing it up from the leads perspective. Automatic assignment can be used on deals when they're created, or if there's been a change in a deal, or when a lead is created. So I'm going to just jump into web forms here. And this is an add-on on Pipedrive, so you may not all have it. But I was talking about that contact form, and this is probably one of my number one use cases for automatic assignment. On your website, you have a contact form, and you ask people to fill it out. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this one out. And I'm going to just pretend I'm a customer. It's 2 a.m, filling something out. And when you come in the morning, it's going to be in your inbox. Phone number is optional. You can do a message. This is what I want you to look at. Industry. Industry in my account is a custom field. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to, Stacey, my customer, is going to be from agriculture. And at 2 a.m, she submitted that lead to me on my website. The next morning, in the past, someone has had to come in the leads inbox and say, wow, we got a lead over the last night. I need to assign it to someone. If you want to take this step out of your process and automate it, now I've lost my word, sorry. Automatic assignment is best for you. Some of you may have heard of automatic assignment before. It's also called a round robin. So let's see in Pipedrive, how do you get to automatic assignment? There's a couple of ways. You can go down and click the More button in the bottom left-hand corner and go up to automatic assignment. And once again, your automatic assignment, you can do it when a deal is added, a deal is updated, or a lead is added. I'm concentrating my demo today on when a lead is added. Let's take a look at some of the rules. So the first thing you need to do is you need to establish a rule by defining certain conditions and then assign who is the owner of it. So let's take a look at how I've set this up in my demo account. Right here, I'm using industry. If you remember, you saw that in my contact form. I'm saying if the industry is agriculture, I'm going to assign it to user Nell Carlson. My next rule, which by the way, these are set in a priority, so you execute the rules in the order you see them. If the industry is manufacturing, I'm going to pick Marty Burns to be the owner of that lead. Finally, I have my last rule, which is if industry is not empty, which means they submitted to industry, but it wasn't agriculture. It wasn't agriculture, it would have been assigned to Nell. It's not manufacturing, or it would have gone to Marty. So now this one goes to Molly. And something to remember here, you can add lots of conditions to this. You also can add a team, not just a person who gets things assigned. So let's take a little bit of a look how this worked in the lead that I input. This lead came in and it was agriculture. So I'm going to look in my leads inbox. My custom field for industry was agriculture. And I know if it's agriculture, it is to be assigned to Nell, and it was. One thing when you do automatic assignment, sometimes you need to go back and look at it and say, hey, is it working based off the rules that I have established? The best way to do that, and another way to get into automatic assignment, is to go up to the top and click on your picture. Going down to tools and apps, you can get to automatic assignment that way also. We have a history here. So once you've established your rules, go into your history and you can look at your history today, all your history. And I'm looking just at assigned here. I can see what we ran this morning, that test coming in from Stacey, hopefully my customer, that Nell's going to close a deal on, the rule that was applied, and who was the assignee. You also can see who was not assigned. That is the way that you would sort of want to test to see how things are working. I'm going to take a quick moment here and stop sharing my screen because I see, whoops, that isn't. There we go. I'm back. Stop sharing my screen because I see we're getting some good questions over here in the questions. Stacey, do you want to start us off on these?
Yes. So now is a good time to start taking our questions. If you haven't already, go ahead and head over to the questions tab and ask away any questions that might have come up during our time together so far.
And vote them up on the best ones.
Yes, what we'll do is check out the questions based on those that are voted up the highest. So we'll start here with our first one from, the upvote just changed. So let's see.
So don't hold us to it is what she's saying.
Okay, this one is it's a pretty good question. You should see it up on your screen. What is the best way to learn Pipedrive? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to show you a few different tools outside of learning via one of our wonderful webinars that we're having here today. There's a few other tools that are accessible in your Pipedrive account that you might not be aware of. If you click on the quick help question mark here in the upper right corner of your screen, you can always be able to utilize the knowledge-based articles as well as the Academy videos that often get overlooked. But if you're more of a visual type of learner, that's a great way to learn about these different features we're speaking about today. As well as any page that you might be on, you'll locate a few different articles that might be helpful. And then our Pipedrive support team is available to connect with you via chat if need be, if you need some direct assistance or have a simple question that you would like to get answered. And then for folks that have account managers that fall into that certain threshold, you always have those options available, but there's a few different resources that you can reach out to for your questions there.
I see we have a few more voting yes. Just to answer the one, you will get a recording, and at the end, I'll go over how all of that works. And I have a question here. Is the automatic assignment, right, there we go. Is the automatic assignment only working for professional level and up? Yes. Automatic assignment is for professional, power, and enterprise currently.
Okay, awesome. So the next question that we have here from Nicole would be, is there a quick way to get to email templates in Pipedrive without having to create a new email? At the present time, the best way to navigate over to your list of email templates would be to open up a window as if you're crafting an email message. But that is an awesome feature request that I definitely would love to submit into our product team to let them know that you would love a separate area to modify and edit your templates. So that's a great question, Nicole, that we have here.
Okay, it looks like we have another email question from Dan. How do I get my Outlook email signature to populate on emails sent through Pipedrive? If it's in Pipedrive, is it okay if I quick share my screen here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, got it. I'm going to, okay. Do you guys see my, yep, you do see my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is when you set up your emails, whether you're in through the leads inbox, or I'm going to go into it through a deal because generally I find that the simplest for me. And you can go to email. You would need to draw down, and this line right here is your signature line. And what you can do is you can take your signature that's in another one and put it in your Pipedrive one here and save it. That is the simplest way that I have found to get that. And then it will send then that signature will be included when you send emails out of Pipedrive.
One thing that I look to mention is that most recently, in the last few recent years, Pipedrive has added a lot of formatting tools. So you can include pictures, hyperlinks, what have you, into that email signature that you might have already saved in your Outlook account or even your Gmail account. So let's go to our next question here. We have from Nicole again. Will we be able to add more than one person as a key contact to a deal going forward? I would like emails to display from more than one contact without manually assigning. This is actually a good question. I'm going to share my screen to show this example here. So with Pipedrive, you can expect the rule to kind of stand as far as a deal can be associated with a contact or an organization. That will be most likely a set rule. Outside of that, you could definitely utilize your custom fields to annotate any secondary or third contacts that you might have connected to a deal, maybe even the point of contact. The best way to illustrate this would be to navigate over to your custom fields. And when creating a custom field, you'll notice you have different types that are available. There's 3 unique types that will actually populate information connected to information already stored in your Pipedrive account. One that might be useful to annotate your second point of contact or third or maybe even fourth would be to create a person type of custom field. That way you can actually populate information for a contact that you might have listed in your Pipedrive account. So that is almost like a workaround of listing that secondary contact within your account.
I think we have a question next here from, let me just keep going. Sorry, I lost it there. Let's go with this one. Elena, is there a good phone system that we can use to integrate with Pipedrive? I know, you need to go. Yes, there are many, to be honest, good ones that you can go with. I'm going to go ahead and just quick share my account and show you how to get to that information.
Lots of resources, tools in Pipedrive.
Yep. So hopefully right now you are, let's see. Are you seeing my demo account, Stacey?
Not yet.
Not yet. Try that again. Okay. I think I did better this time. When integrating any type of integration with Pipedrive, the best place to go look first and foremost is down in the marketplace. You'll be able to look through here to see what is being used. Because I want to look for something for phone related, I do like to just drop down here and you can start looking for phone systems. And there's many of them. I have customers that use a whole variety of them. I have customers that use Kixi. I have customers that use Google Meet. I have customers that use AirCall, Cloud Talk. Stacey, do you have some? I mean, the best thing to do is go in and look at what the apps are, okay? And you can look under, there should be a phone one in here. You can look under the apps and then look at the ratings that the apps have. And then you can look at the integration. Also, another really good place to go to is go out to the community and do a search on what other people are using for phone apps.
Awesome. That's a good question. We have
And
another
ask
question.
regularly.
We have another question here from Mike. Let's see. How can you set triggers to email to be sent out? And can we set up something to alert me the email has been opened or viewed? Mike, I think that's an awesome question. We actually recently this year have added a few different updates to our workflow automation tool that will allow you to actually set up an email sequence based on the response or lack thereof to your first email. So if you do have access to the advanced plan or higher, you would be able to access that tool. Just to show you how it would look, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Navigate back over to our automations. And I know we didn't talk too much about automations, but there's so much to explain in there and so much that you can do. If you are interested in trying out the automations you haven't before, you'll notice that you have a list of pre-made templates to kind of help guide you with the feature. But going into some of my saved automations that I have here, I have a few that are set up to send a email sequence. And kind of going back to the basics of the automation, you can trigger an automation to send out the action of the email based on an item being created, updated, or maybe deleted. For those scenarios, more than likely, you're probably going to be either creating an item or updating an item. So with those existing contacts that you're probably wanting to set up that sequence, the better opportunity would be to either update that contact, or maybe when you're creating the contact, you can set it up where you're actually sending out a email, and you would need to send out a email template and then also turn on the tracking capabilities. From there, you would be able to identify with your conditions if that email has been replied to. It's almost like a sentence type of format. If the email has not been replied to, you can kind of continue on with sending your email sequence. Just because, if you haven't already noted, based on my description, Pipedrive also has tracking capabilities to those emails that you're sending out. So if you haven't already, go over to your email sync if you do have access to the tool, and turn on your tracking capabilities here. And then also in your sales assistant, if you click on the gear button here and manage notifications, you can actually be notified of whenever your emails are opened or any links are clicked on within that email.
And Stacey, to just say something, I love that feature, because if you sent out an email, say like you sent out a proposal and you've like really been waiting for a response, and then if you track it, the sales assistant will notify you within Pipedrive that it has been opened, and that is golden. One, you know that data about the deal you're trying to work, and two, then well, maybe they read. I'm going to reach out to them this afternoon. So if you haven't worked with Sales Assistant, it's pretty powerful, and I know we're building out that Sales Assistant with more features as we move forward. Okay.
Oh, yes.
We have a question here. How do I add multiple organizations to one Pipedrive account? I like your example, so thank you for sharing that with us. For example, the Apple project has John Contracting and Smith Contracting. How do I do both? So I'm interpreting this question as, how do you put two organizations in on one deal? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. The way to do that would be through our custom fields. As you know, currently when you have, let me just get back to some data we've seen before so it looks a little bit more familiar. Okay, so we know that when we are working in a deal, each deal has well, doesn't have to, but has one organization associated with it. If you would want to associate another organization with it, I would recommend using our custom fields. So you would go to company settings and then data fields. Now remember, not everyone has access to these. All plans have custom fields, but not all users are given access to them. If you're not seeing this on your screen, you need to talk to your admin to get this type of stuff added, come into your manager first. I would add that under the deal or lead area. Remember, you can do custom fields under all of these entities, but I would add a custom field and it maybe be like organization secondary, okay? Then I would give it the field type of organization. So then you will have both organizations within Pipedrive entered. Then when you have this added to a deal, and remember, I'm only going to give it to the pipelines that I think it's applicable for. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Then when I go over to one of those pipelines, my catering pipeline, if this all worked fast enough and in real fast time, I'm seeing organization secondary. I'm going to do a drop down, and look, it brought up the icon for organizations. So I'm going to pick an organization I already have. I'm hoping to pick an organization I already have.
You got it.
Oh, I got it. Did I get it there? Left. Thank you. Woo. And then I'm going to save that secondary organization. So then when I'm looking at this deal, I can always go into lefts and see the address and all the information that's associated with it.
Awesome.
And thanks, Stacey.
No problem.
I need ya.
Awesome. So we have another question here from Fazal. When will native Calendly integration be available? Shouldn't already be available since Pipedrive itself uses Calendly for scheduling? So it's a good question. So we do have a few integrations that connect directly with Calendly, as well as some of our partners like Zapier connect directly with Calendly. This is actually one of the first times I've actually heard of a user wanting a native integration. So this is actually a good feature request that we could put in addition to the other ones with our product team to let them know that our customers want a native Calendly integration available. We have a lot of upcoming updates and news next year, so this would be great if that would be included. So I concur.
Yeah. And just to throw something in there, Pipedrive does have a really nice meeting scheduler, okay? I have used both, okay? I've used Calendly and I've used the meeting scheduler. The meeting scheduler, it does a good job. I recommend you take a peek at Pipedrive's meeting scheduler because that may be solving what you need and you may not have to then buy another piece of software.
Especially when it comes to the reporting aspect of that you can capture in insights after all of those activities and events have been completed. So don't forget about the power of scheduler.
Yep. And you can find it in the knowledge base if you want to know more about it. Okay, let's take a question here from Amber. Do you have a YouTube channel or something similar for trainings and more? Stacey, you're nodding your head. Yes, I know we have one, but I don't know what it is. Do you?
We do have a YouTube channel, and recently our product head, Sean, was on there debuting some of our most recent updates and some aspects of Pipedrive that you can expect to see in the coming year and coming quarter. So we do have a YouTube channel that features a lot of good updates about features, webinars, but also be sure to pay attention to our Academy, because that's a dedicated area that you can find a lot of video content. We have an awesome Getting Started with Pipedrive course that features James, as well as some of our other comrades within Pipedrive explaining some of the basics and then even more elevated levels of Pipedrive. So definitely don't miss out on that. If you're unfamiliar, once again, go to your upper right-hand corner within your Pipedrive account, click on the question mark, and then you can locate the Academy training videos. Okay.
Stacey, this next question looks right up your alley because it's about automations from Scotty.
Scotty, awesome. All right, so our deals are owned by the sales representative. I want an automation to assign activities to the service representative who is supporting them. How can this be achieved? I cannot figure it out. So this would primarily take place within your automations feature, of course, but you would need to identify a trigger that would take place either with using an action as a trigger. And I'll go ahead and share my screen so I can show you this as an example. You would need to identify an action that would set off your whole automation into play, but also think of it in a sense of even when it comes to your automations, whether it's a deal being updated, you can, with your instant conditions, you can actually pull up filters for maybe contact even falling into a certain filter. So imagine when a deal falls into a certain filter, the instant it falls into one of my specific filters here, maybe I added a label, I can initiate an activity being created on behalf of a sales representative. So that's definitely something that you can work out with the automation, but you would want to set that up as an automated action. So setting up the rule that would set that whole thing into play. I hope that answers your question.
We have a question next from Valerie. Can we please allow the same contact person to be on multiple organizations and companies? Our clients have multiple companies. I would definitely love to take this, and I've heard it before. Thank you for voting it up. Back to product for feedback. Working in, like when I work with my customers, I always say, but I want to give you a solution that's you can do today, right now in Pipedrive, and then that would be custom fields. You would probably want to put a custom field under that contact person and put, you know, all the organizations they're associated with. So under the person, you'd put a custom field. It'd be like organization, then organization 1, organization 2, organization 3 that they're associated with. Or you could make it a multi-drop down and just, you could list every organization they're associated with. Stacey, do you think I should show that, or was that a good enough explanation?
I think that was good for the time being.
Yeah, because we are, good point. We only got a little more time left, so I'm going to hand it back to you on the next question.
Okay. And Marvin has a question here that won't take up too much time to answer. Marvin asks, do you have consulting services which can manage automations for us? Great question. I will go ahead and share my screen, just to show you some resources when it comes to this, in the sense of lots of different resources within Pipedrive. As you saw that Janelle pointed out, the marketplace stores are integrations and softwares that connect to Pipedrive. But in addition to that, you can also find our verified partners that you can utilize for any type of training, consultation, even migrating your data over from another software, in the sense of if you might be one of those accounts that might not fall into the threshold where you get an account manager, this can be a great resource for you. If you notice there, Paul Miner is one of our partner favorites. He has a lot of great YouTube videos that breaks down different features, but you can also seek these services out for training with your team, what have you. But always, if anything, if you had a question about anything, be sure to reach out to our Pipedrive support so we can provide you with a route to go with.
Okay, our next question. Let's see. I clicked in the wrong things, but so now it's not. Oh, wait, let me see. Close. There we go. Love technology when it works. Okay, so this question is asking about the WhatsApp. Is it compatible with Pipedrive? And if you go, I'll share my screen here quick, and I'll give you my, here we go. I'm going to share my screen quick. And also we've had several questions here about automations. So I'm going to, or integrations. So if it's okay, I'm going to just address my overall issue because there's a few more questions in the chat about integrations. Okay. First place to always check for integrations are Pipedrive's marketplace. And we do have an integration with the WhatsApp. Okay. This integration is written by a third party. So you can look at this integration. You can see what the rating is on it. You can also go down, look at descriptions, resources, and getting support. Looking at integrations, the next place you go to is the app you want to integrate with. Look at their marketplace and see if they have any resources. See if they have an app that shares back with Pipedrive. Third, I like to recommend is something like a Zapier, where it's a non-programming language that integrates two pieces of software together. And we have a lot that integrates with Pipedrive through Zapier. I know there's other software out there. That's my example. And then the fourth is the API is open.
Okay.
Did I miss anything there, Stacey?
No, I think you covered it. And we have about 4 minutes left. So we maybe have time for maybe one more question. Let's see.
It looks like a lot of people want a webinar just on automation. So it looks like you're going to be coming back to the screen.
Maybe. So we have another question here from Marvin. Would you do the webinar just about automations? And I also noticed here that Scotty, I did not answer your question in full detail because you wanted some specifics. So I will try my best to connect with you and set something up so we can go into that in further detail. But if you notice, if you go back over to our Pipedrive screen and the quick help button in the Academy section, we actually have some webinars that we've conducted in the past that focus and really go into depth with our automations feature. There's a lot that you can do within there, from basics all the way to some detailed approaches. So definitely check that out. But I will let our leadership know that you want to learn way more about automations that we probably couldn't cover in this webinar today.
And we have a question here from Will. Can you auto assign to multiple users? The answer is no. You can have, when you auto assign, there's only one owner for your deal or your lead. And right now that's, what we are assigning the ownership of. You can always, include a follower later or something if you want someone to follow that deal. One thing I'll just touch on, if you have a whole team, automatic assignment does distribute deals or leads evenly among team members. I don't know that I covered that during my presentation, but as of right now, you can only assign to one user. And
time goes by pretty fast. We're actually at the end of the webinar. Sorry if we were not able to get to your question. If you haven't already noticed, Dina, our awesome webinar webmaster, has been trying to answer some of your questions, but also pointed you to a link where your unanswered questions will be. Again, you'll also be receiving this in a recording via email, but let us know your feedback. You'll also receive feedback requests. We want to know how you felt about this webinar, if you want more, and what else you want to talk about.
Yep. And don't forget to look at our knowledge base and all the videos we have out there to answer more questions. Thanks for your time today, guys. Bye.